something that I had kind of had in the back of my mind. I was like, oh, wouldn't that be amazing if, Spencer and I did something for mental health. And then when you called me and were like, hey, we have an opportunity to do a mental health project, I was like, just floored, like so excited. Yeah. And that we could tie music into it too was like extra bonus, like way better than I even imagined.
So here are some things that I'm not. I'm not a politician. I'm not a policymaker. I'm not a researcher or a specialist of any sort. I'm not really an expert of very much, but I am an artist. And when I was approached to make this 6-episode series for the Rural Mental Health Project, it was never expected that I'd be able to provide a comprehensive solution to the challenges Hinton faces. Instead, I was given license to approach this as Servant, my musical alias. And I'll be honest, this was much harder to do than I expected. There was a great irony behind the scenes of this project in that over the few years I've been poking at it, I experienced what I would describe best as the most tumultuous mental health period of my life. I've experienced grief. I've struggled to make enough money, and I have at several instances over the last while wanted to end my life. And I'm not making this into a therapy session, but I am sharing this with you because as an artist, I find my calling in sharing my story and perspective with others. It's how I process emotions. It's something I want you to consider is how you process your emotions. Everybody needs an outlet.
I think it's important to acknowledge that there are different solutions for everyone. What I mean is various combinations of, like exercise, medication, professional help like counseling, spiritual help, relying on your church, or talking to a friend, or journaling, one or a combination of those doesn't work the same for everyone.
Lindsay Rendleman and I go way back.
It's just so cool, like we're both from Hinton. We're both friends, longtime friends now, I guess you could say, from high school. No.
Elementary. Grade 6, yeah.
Grade 6,
We've known each other for a long time.
Grade 4 to 6, right from the time that you punched me in the face.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sorry about that again, officially. You deserved it. I'm still sorry.
Lindsay is a fellow musical artist, and we had recently collaborated on a song called Suspect. And the music video was filmed in Edson. And I wanted to collaborate with her again. And having the topic of mental health bestowed upon me in this project, I thought of her immediately.
The mental health project kind of came up first, and the idea for the song came in after. So we knew what we wanted it to kind of feel like.
And we got to work right away. Before going into the song, I want to introduce another artist in Hinton, a man named Don Engredal. Many know him as the founder of Break-A-Leg Theatre, or perhaps for his abilities as an exceptional watercolorist. But what a lot of people don't know is that he wasn't originally from Hinton.
I was originally from Lower Mainland, just north of Vancouver, in a small community. It was a copper mine, Britannia Beach.
That sounded like a nice place. Why come to Hinton, I wondered?
Did I want to move here?
Did you want to move? Yeah.
Not at all. I had all my friends, and I was going to school, and could look out our bedroom window, and the ocean was right there. And you could see the orca whales swimming up the inlet, and then moving to landlocked Alberta. I remember driving into Hinton. It was about 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and there was a husky. And that's all we could see. So there was a husky. I know I cursed for about a year. I do not like living here. I want to move. I don't want to be here. I moved here in grade 10. I didn't know anybody. Yeah, it was really hard.
Don is famously involved in so many creative endeavors in Hinton. In fact, he hosted a talent show when I was 15 years old at the Roxy Theatre, which I won, which was crazy. And he later introduced me at my first ever solo performance, also at the Roxy Theatre, which sadly burned down. What was it about Hinton, though, that turned it around for him?
While I was working at the mine, I got involved in a production, and it was a singing part. And I said, "You've never heard me sing," So I auditioned to a philodendron that was in the director's dining room because I could not look at the director when I was singing. So I sang to this plant. And I thought, wow, good one, Dawn. You've really blown that one. And in fact, I got the lead role. I slowly started getting involved in more productions. I don't know, I felt more of a sense of community, being involved with a group of like-minded people that had a passion for an end goal of doing a great show.
Besides this notion of having a shared purpose with others, he later spoke about how inclusivity played a role in his learning to love Hinton.
They were so welcoming and so non-judgmental. It didn't bother them that you were a triple threat or anything like that. If you could do one, if you could breathe, you were in. I don't know, it gave me a sense of peace, a sense of calm, a sense of drive, to do more. I think that's what I mean when I wanted to give back to the community in that respect.
And this is something I relate to. When Lindsay and I wrote the song Small Stars, it was not only our way of commemorating, celebrating our upbringings and our stories, but it was our way of giving back to the community, the very specific community that raised us. It was a way for us to connect to others. Really, I think that deep down, people just need that sense of connection, things that tether them to keep them around. In my own challenges with suicidal ideation, the thing above everything that kept me here was my children, and beyond that, my parents, my brothers, my friends, real tethers to other people. Connecting with others is so key to your mental health being able to flourish.
It's just awesome to have someone that you can talk about anything with. And yeah, they're not gonna try to change the subject or ooh, it makes them uncomfortable, so they don't wanna address it. But yeah, sometimes talking is just, that's all you need sometimes.
It's one of the reasons why talk therapy with a good therapist can be effective. Talking is a form of expression. It's like an echo. If I shout in this proverbial canyon, will my voice reverberate back to me? Am I really here? Do I even matter?
And that's where music comes in, I think probably for both of us as writers and for listeners too.
Music, like so many art forms, is one of the ways that we signify our existence and see the existence of others. Janice Baxter, who works at the Bridges Society, had a lot to say about the importance of connection in a small town.
Having done needs assessments with our local Alberta Health Services mental health office, the biggest thing that people who live with mental illness in Hinton need is social. They need to get out of their house and connect with people. And I've heard it said from people who work in addictions, especially addictions and mental health, is that the opposite of addiction is not sobriety, it's connection.
Connection is not a sufficient condition for good mental health, and no one is making that argument, but it is a necessary condition.
So even for people who aren't living with challenges or illnesses, we still need those social opportunities to connect with people to maintain our wellness. And then when we've made all those connections that build our support network around us, when our mental health is lagging, we have people there to help us through that.
And that's exactly what Bridges does. It's in the name, Bridges. It creates an environment conducive to socializing. People go to Bridges to connect with others.
The people who come here to connect with other people participate in our programs. They'll go out to the lake, they'll go out into the community, we do walks around the neighborhood. They're going to connect with other people, and that's going to lead to greater connections, other kinds of connections that lead to volunteerism, maybe even employment, because they've met the right people who see something in them or that have an opportunity that they're like, hey, you need that and I'm good at that. Let's get together, and that's how communities are built.
Hinton is a beautiful place with some truly remarkable people. And I'm proud that it's such an important part of my own origin story. Despite the challenges that come with it, and with every rural community, the benefits of living in a small town are immense. Besides what I do as a filmmaker, the only way I really know how to demonstrate this is through music.
Every culture all over the world has evidence of early evidence of music making tools. We have an oral history, before we ever wrote things, we sang them. We told stories. that formed the basis of a value system in our community that taught us how to relate to one another. And that wasn't always spoken, it wasn't always written in laws. It was sung, it was drummed, it was strummed. Through music, there's that primal connection that shows us that we are one.
Raised in a small town, not a country singer though, and when people found out, they were quite dismissive. The simple fact is, this mixed reaction was just a fashion, and it's my passion. So I couldn't fake it, and living in a small town, I used to hate it. I felt deflated, berated, and castigated. But I'm not gonna say this as some statement like I'm angry, cause I'm not. I'm just being honest with you. I swear to God, I have better thoughts now. I have set my cross down, and I don't have to suffer so profusely in a dark cloud. I just use my microphone and truly I talk it out. It calms me down, then I hear the people calling out too, and I am not alone. But I'd have never known if I didn't have courage to tell somebody my sorrows. I was lost, not even a dot on the map. What kind of problem is that? I promise you that thoughts in the past. Really? And I don't have to drive to the city to see the lights so pretty. And when I know I'm gonna fall down, there's people in my small town who pick me up. And though there's nothing wrong with the city lights, I can see the stars any given night. You could just say the dark in the sky, but the heart could survive. But it's hard to abide when there's light outshining the harshest silence. Even small stars guide us.
And when the morning comes, another day's begun.
Don't you hate running into people that you kind of know at the grocery store, though?
Really?
It's kind of the worst.
Just the kind of know, like the in-between of...
Yeah, because like, you like run into each other and you're like, so, shopping, huh? What you buying? Like it's, gonna go make some supper? Cool, me too.
Yeah, I guess there's that. So, I mean, like, what you gain in traffic in a small town, you lose for the chatter that you're everywhere else.
Yeah.
So, it's not really a positive, actually.